Sales doesn't need to be hard or overcomplicated. That's not my way of saying that sales is easy. Rather, I'm saying that you can have a successful career in sales if you develop a process and execute on it consistently. This channel is dedicated to what a sales process framework could look like and showcasing the different best and worst practices around the different steps of a sales process. The intention is to publish short, weekly videos that are easily digestible with clear action items that you can begin doing today. Welcome to Sunday Sales Staples. Today's topic digs deeper into one of the basic things you need to know when you're out there selling: value propositions. By definition, value propositions are statements that outline why a prospect should be interested in becoming a customer of your company's product, service, or solution. When you visit a company's website, you will see value propositions sprinkled throughout the pages. These statements will showcase the ROI of your product and the product's benefits to the prospect organization. In a study by ScandiWeb, value propositions can increase customer interaction rates on a website by 35% alone. Now, if a website can generate that much interaction with prospects, then it's important to create value propositions of your own when you're prospecting, proposing, and negotiating. I released a separate video that covers features, benefits, and value, and I would recommend watching that video after this overview to help you craft a more comprehensive talk track around your product. While the two videos and the topics are similar, this video goes deeper into the value, which ultimately drives new business. I will link the features, benefits, and value video in the description below. And rather than share a case study like I normally do in these videos, I want to jump right into the concrete examples of when and how to use value propositions. Crafting value propositions might seem challenging at first. However, there is an algorithm that you can use to start creating them today. I have used the following framework both as an individual contributor and as a consultant, and the results have been positive. So when you begin to craft your value propositions, the first thing you want to do is customize the value propositions for your specific decision maker's role. We're going to cover this in more detail in the next section, so stick around. Next, you want to make sure it's specific and concrete. Your value propositions should be able to outline the specific benefits and value that your product addresses. As an employee of your company, you of course know the value that your service provides. However, you quite literally need to spell it out for your prospect. You cannot assume that they will make the jump to understand the value on their own. And lastly, you want to address the pain of your prospects and what they will gain by implementing your solution. By mentioning the pain that your prospects experience, you are accomplishing two things. One, you're showcasing your understanding of their industry and profession, which sets you up as a trusted advisor. And two, you're starting to bring their emotions into play, which will ideally spark action. And by mentioning what they will gain, you begin to bridge the gap between their current state versus their future state. In a separate video, I covered buyer personas, and I mentioned how important it is to tailor your message to the specific decision maker that you're dealing with. If you haven't seen the buyer personas video, then I will link it in the description below, and I recommend you give it a watch. When crafting value propositions, it's important to design unique ones for each of the buyer personas so that they are engaged in your conversation and begin to think of the positive effects of purchasing your product. Now, each department of your prospect account will have different metrics that they use to track success, and it's up to you to uncover those metrics when you're conducting your discovery calls. For people in finance, they may track metrics like ROI, gross profit margin, or fixed asset turnover. For people in marketing, they may track metrics like customer acquisition cost, conversion rates, or customer lifetime value. For people in operations, they may track metrics like order fulfillment, delivery time, or transportation costs. And for people in product, they may track metrics like customer churn, customer NPS, or active trials. Now, these were just a few departmental examples, and you might also be selling into HR teams, revenue departments, or legal functions when trying to win new business. The important thing to remember is that each department has their own set of success metrics, and you won't be able to use the same metrics for different departments. There may be some overlap in their metrics. However, customization is always a best practice. To give a quick overview of what a value proposition could look like, let's jump into an example. For this example, let's say you're an account executive at Gong, the conversational intelligence platform. In this example, you're in a proposal meeting with the VP of sales and the chief revenue officer at a prospect account. As you're having your discussion about why the prospect should implement Gong's solution, three examples of value propositions could be: one, Gong's early insights into what's working and what's not gives your team the confidence to take big bet initiatives to market successfully. Know from day one why your initiative is succeeding or failing and course correct in time. Customers have seen a 40% increase in methodology adoption across their teams after implementing Gong. Two, with Gong, there is no more guessing and no more switching between platforms. Using database guardrails to keep deals on track and teams aligned on critical numbers makes it easier to manage your pipeline and call an accurate forecast. In fact, we have seen an average of a 3-week reduction in all deals after a prospect implements our solution. And third, an intuitive, guided workflow means you can replicate what works by turning objective data into coachable moments. You will always have these stats you need to back up your approach. And with these coaching insights, customers have been able to increase their win rates by 50%. Now, I should mention that I did not craft these value propositions on my own. Rather, I took them directly off the Gong website. But these are the types of things that the sales organization at Gong is talking about with prospects because they know it's what will drive new business. That wraps up this week's overview of value propositions, and I appreciate you checking out the video. If you want to dig deeper into building value propositions for your company or brand, I highly recommend checking out some articles that you can easily find on Google. Some people will have similar ideas to mine, and others will differ. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to craft your own value proposition strategy, and I do hope there were some key takeaways that you can begin using today. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, sales does not need to be hard or overcomplicated. While sales is becoming vastly more complex with metrics and data, your process does not need to be so convoluted that it isn't easily replicated. Keep coming back to the channel to learn more about how to simplify your process and win new business. And feel free to reach out to me via email at sundaysalesstaples@gmail.com or reach out on Instagram at sundaysalesstaples. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you next week.